Hey everyone, this is Rob.
And Michelle.
And welcome to Bunebape, your weekly podcast on everything you need to know about old school RuneScape.
Meet Mer.
Meep. Mer.
Mer.
Okay, so we are back to our normal schedules this week.
Yeah. Just in time for not much.
It was nice while it lasted, but it's also nice to be back on track. So
Yeah, we got so much food this week. Shout out Aloe for visiting. Shout out Raniel for hanging out with us and only living 2 miles away, but we never hang out. It was fun.
Yeah, that's how it goes in America.
Yeah, that 2 miles, it's a long 2 miles.
It's a long way.
It's a long way.
Anyways, though, we do not have many updates. We didn't play much this week. We didn't have any real time to do stuff besides real life stuff. So
I'm ranked
updates.
29 Scurious.
I'm sorry, like I said.
Oh, we're still in the docket.
Like I said, no updates.
Oh.
And then we're going to go into this week's actual game update. There was a smaller one that had to deal with Armageddon as well as some tweaks to while Guthix sleeps.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll be going into another blog. This is actually going to be kind of just a regular old update blog on where they're at with some UI improvements in the near future.
It's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll end off with our usual Q&A.
Mm-hmm.
You know, asterisks, maybe there's stuff tomorrow, who knows.
Yes.
But yeah, there's going to be a Q&A at the end. And if you want to participate, you can in many different ways by sending us your questions through any of our social media channels. But best of all would be discord.gg/Bunebape. Join the Discord and ask your questions in the questions section. That would be the best place for sure if you wanted to get your question to us.
Yeah.
That being said, though, normally I would say, how are you doing? And while I still care, we said there's no updates.
I said I'm ranked 29 Scurious, and it feels like you just glossed over that.
I'm trying to
glazed
help you.
it.
I'm trying to help you.
Yeah, I don't have anything else.
Okay. But yeah, almost front page, Scurious.
God, that's bleak.
Nice.
I'm like 300 KC away.
What did while Ala was visiting, what did the KC they predicted that you'd get the pet would be?
Aloe and Raina were just sitting there, and I was AFKing Scurious while we were hanging out, and then Aloe was like, "I think you're gonna get the pet," and I thought he was gonna end it there, and he's like, "At 27,000," and I'm like, "Why would you?"
Yeah, just about
put that
double.
evil on
just
me.
about double where you're at right now.
So if I get a 27,000, that's a big frick you to Aloe.
Yeah, it would cost a little over $1 bill in runes.
It would cost probably over $1 bill in runes.
Well, yeah, a little over $1 bill.
I've been doing it on stream a little bit so I can melee.
You could have bought a T-bow almost with
I
all the runes you've
already
used.
could have with all the stuff I've used. Who
Yeah.
knows? Anyway, how have you been? You've actually been playing a lot of games.
Yes and no. It's funny because like it's slow at work, and we're going into the launch of a new season for Path of Exile. So I've kind of just been like in maintenance mode, and I spend like anywhere from 4 to 6 hours a day at work making Path of Exile builds in anticipation for what I might want to play.
Do you want to tell everyone your build idea? I have some people play.
Yeah, so there was a really big patch for Path of Exile for anyone that hasn't played in a while and maybe wants to jump back into it. Maybe it's a good time. I don't know. But anyways, they revamped a lot of melee skills. So, I mean, I almost always play melee anyways. Mm-hmm. So this was kind of a nice update for me. So I'll maybe be playing like, I don't know. It's either going to be a bleed build or a slam build. So it's going to be...
Slam.
Yeah, there's like...
What about Womp?
It's funny because you can make bleeds, or you can make slams bleed, too.
Of course you can.
So I could do a mixture of the two. I don't know. Yeah, but I'm not sure. One of those two. So it's going to be a slam or a bleed and or a mix of the two. I'm not sure. So pretty exciting. Just been spending a lot of time on that. And I got another range level, just AFKing at Sand Crabs.
What's your level at?
75 now.
Huge max.
Yeah, it was at 73, then I got it to 75, but that's cool. I also got enough points at Nightmare Zone so that I can imbue my helmet, so that was pretty cool.
Oh, yay.
Yeah,
juicy.
I actually can't even make the helmet yet. I don't have enough Slayer points, but
oh, rip. Okay, cool.
I imbued the black mask, so that was cool, I guess.
It's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. It was funny because I did try to do Nightmare Zone with range because, I mean, that's like a viable thing, but my range gear is so bad. I was getting like 3,000 points an hour.
Wow.
Yeah, so I just left and went to
Yeah,
sand
that's kind of a
crabs.
waste.
Yeah. But that's it. I really don't have too many updates.
I have one more.
Yeah.
I graduated training at my work.
Wow, big
5 to 7
graduation.
weeks. I think it's more like 7. I'm graduated. And now I have my own supervisor, and there's no room in her section, so I am sitting in the same place.
Sitting by yourself like a little
Yeah, I
loner
don't know if I
baby.
mentioned it last week, but like all the people closest to me that I'd speak to the most, that were like right next to me, moved to their section already, so I am just alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm very talkative at work. Or I mean, I like to be. I'm a little gossip.
Not
So I'm very
anymore.
sad about it. No, I'll message
Yeah.
people in teams, but I don't know. They probably hate me.
Besides that, though, we do have, I guess, probably the final update is we did go to Pride this weekend, which was the main event while we had friends in town.
It was fun.
Pride is a cultural event for the community,
Hmm.
and it was pretty okay. The
The
DJs
DJs weren't
weren't,
as good as
yeah, the
normal.
DJs weren't as good as years past.
But my favorite part of Pride, I think, is just watching people dance because some people go so hard and I love it. And no one gets creepy. Like, if you know, you know. Like, you'll go out to a club or something and there'll always be like some guy like eyeing you. Like, whenever we went in Vegas, there was a couple guys that were coming up to me and Nella. It's not an issue at Pride.
Oh, those guys were
They were
heavily
so. They
intoxicated
were messed up.
on not alcohol.
There's probably a lot of people also on drugs at Pride, but they didn't bother me, so whatever. So I just
Yeah,
enjoyed watching them. And we got to meet up with our friend that we haven't seen in like 2 years.
yeah, that's pretty
That
cool.
was so cool. And then we also met with one of my coworkers for like 5 minutes.
It's funny because my favorite part of the whole thing was the fact that it was much less hot than I remember it being in years past.
Yeah, it was definitely hotter in the past.
Yeah,
Pride is always fun though. It sucks though because we have it in July instead of June, so it's
yeah.
always hotter than it would be.
It was okay though.
Yeah, it was cool. My dress is
Um,
cute.
I think with that out of the way, we could probably move on to the actual update this week.
Uh-huh.
We will update you if we have any further updates tomorrow.
Yes.
Besides that, though, Deadman, Armageddon,
Armageddon.
and While Guthix Sleeps, they had a couple tweaks for both of those in this week's update on July
Yeah.
24th. Not a ton, but mostly just some changes for Deadman with feedback.
I did want to say the other week we were talking on the Deadman blog and we're like, we're just gonna like skim through this and we'll put a poll if you guys think we should have read it. 2 people answered. One person said we should have read through it. One person said we shouldn't have.
Still,
an update.
split decision. Split decision.
Decisions means you're not gonna.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if like 3 people were like, "Oh, you definitely should have read it," I mean, I
I'd be like,
think
whoops.
if we have,
I think we were busy that week too.
yeah, I was like, I think if we have more time, then we're more apt to like want to do stuff like that.
That's
but
like
also,
right
it's
now
like,
we're gonna get really into this because there's not much.
well, not really into it, but we are going to talk about it. Just, I mean, I don't really even know how important a lot of these things are, but yeah, I don't know. It's just like it'd be like listening to like a 5th grader talk about calculus. Like they kind of just they don't even know what they're talking about, so it's just a little less impactful.
Okay.
But if you do desire that, then yeah, I guess we will try to lengthen out the patches when we
We'll
have, when
actually
you have
tell
time.
you what's happening in Deadman.
Yeah, when we have time.
This is our solemn swear to you.
That being said, I mean, there was a ton of stuff, very small, minute things going on with Deadman, especially this year, and there was many changes leading up to Deadman.
Mm-hmm.
So I honestly had a really tough time even keeping up with it, let alone being able to
Yeah.
explain it to others. And
I'd agree.
there was even people posting about like how difficult it was to keep up with like Mod Manked and the changes to Deadman at the very last second.
It's because they kept going and adding like the hotfixes on top, and I'm like, you just need to repost the blog at this point. Like, start
Yeah.
fresh.
Like there
with accurate
was
stuff.
random hot fixes. There was like changes that were happening that were just kind of being said in like the PvP Discord and not really
It's like, is that real?
getting put into hot fixes until like later. So it's like if you
Yeah.
wanted to stay up to date on this, there were several posts saying that there was like 3 or 4 or 5 different places you needed to check if you really wanted to stay
That's
up to date.
very annoying because you don't want to check any more than one place.
Yeah, like I like that they have this stuff every year because it gives people stuff to do, but also you should, kind of have everything in place
Yeah.
because it gets really annoying having
Be
to like,
clear communicating.
especially because people take time off and they don't want to like spend the first day planning when they could have done it the day before
Exactly.
or the week before if they had known.
Okay.
Like what I'm doing with Path of Exile. It's like,
You're really pre-planning that.
yeah, you get to spend some time doing it. It's nice.
Oh, well, Robert's been AFK at work. I took the most calls of our entire training group last week. I took 245 calls. I feel really happy about it.
Wow, big call guy.
Yeah. I just
Shout out
saw a
to
little
Michelle.
score thing today, and I did like really well and stuff, so I'm happy about it.
Yeah. Anyways, though, Deadman Armageddon is in full swing. It only lasts for another week,
Oh.
as far as I remember. I think it's only a 2-week long event, so it's, been some time already.
God, that's so quick.
If you are looking to earn some points, though, obviously if you want the really cool cosmetics like the capes or, the teleport home stuff, then I'd recommend jumping in now. And you still have plenty of time to get at least one of those things depending on what you want to get.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if there's anything I get AFK to buy the telly so I don't just spend money.
Yep.
Probably.
Maybe. Yeah, probably. I mean, you could probably just skill, honestly, and get, pretty far.
As this is a limited time event, we've been making some speedy hot fixes. So the Infernal Chef now gives cooked cromboin as opposed to poisoned. If the Cyclops room in the Warriors Guild is particularly crowded, you'll see more spawning. Players can no longer roll the skilling supply loot table while mining rune essence, and can no longer chop undead trees. This change was brought to you by an extremely low effort way of mining sigils that was way too strong to live. That's how everyone was making money day one, was mining pure essence. Or rune essence.
Yeah.
The doors in the Grand Tree no longer change locations on Deadman Worlds, and you'll no longer receive skilling supply loot when in an instance.
Cool. This week also we have a few other fixes. So they significantly increased the rate of the bleed effect of Morrigan's Javelin and increased its damage to 10 per hit. They also made it so the UI now correctly reflects the remaining time before this year's Deadman ends. They actually have that in game, so you don't need to go check anywhere or remember the date.
That's cool.
So it's nice. Whenever you log in, you should be good to go. They do say that they removed the warning message that played when players attuned to the sigil of the Fortune Farmer interacting with Impling Jars. They increased the quantity of breach NPCs at region breaches. That's nice. So more people get to actually participate in the breach, and it's not only PvP.
Yeah, I heard someone say last night in my chat that a lot of the breaches are being locked down by clans.
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Updated the Slayer point requirements to choose a task when using the Sigil of Slaughter from 30 to 60. It was a little too strong, and players with less than 90 Slayer points will be warned that they don't have enough to cancel a task. Also, when attempting to log into a Deadman world with W45 data, World 45 data, players will now be informed that they must reset their permanent Deadman account with Nigel. So, I don't know who doesn't know that, but I'm sure someone logged in and was confused. Lastly, Deadman tournament accounts, especially one defense peers, can now progress their Hero's Quest. It was unfortunately locked out for a little bit, but I think it was kind of just unforeseen that they would get locked out of that. But normal Deadman and other accounts remain unchanged. So.
Okay. We're also continuing to monitor bank keys, and will work to remove junk items that have an inexplicitly high value where possible. And hopefully these changes will make your Deadman journey a bit smoother. They're going to be keeping an eye on the tournament for any other bugs that pop up. And they've also reduced the number of Deadman worlds to ensure you're more likely to run into players. So they have, I'm not going to read them all, but they have gotten rid of a whole plethora. I almost want to say plethora. A whole plethora of random worlds, particularly a lot of 3 to 50 level worlds.
Yeah, they got rid of 16 3 to 50 level worlds, as well as 7 51 to 70 worlds. Wow. This is across US West, East, UK. What's DE?
What is DE?
DE, as well as Australia.
Okay.
What is DE?
I cannot think. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't forget, you have until 12 p.m. noon BST on August 2nd to build up your points for the new cosmetic rewards or get yourself into the higher combat brackets. So yeah, you have a little bit over a week.
Yep.
Yeah.
It does end on August 2nd, like you said, so not too far now.
Yeah, there's also, though, if you are in the end, there's a potential that you'll end up with one of these actually pretty sick looking winners medals.
Yeah, they're full-on metal, and they say Deadman Armageddon on them. They're pretty legit.
Also, tune into the grand finale on Saturday, August 3rd on Twitch at 1800 BST. That's twitch.tv/oldschoolrunescape? Or is that OSRS?
I don't know. Let's check. I think it's
Click. Oh,
old school RS. Of
old
course
school
it is.
RS.
They couldn't even get the real thing.
Yeah.
Funny. I'm sure
Anyway,
someone's sitting on that.
this year they're going to be trying out a new format, so 5 finales across 5 combat brackets, giving everyone an opportunity to optimize their builds and compete like never before. In the meantime, you could commemorate your Deadman experience with the official logo pen and specialty Armageddon edition of the Armageddon Godsword keyring from Angelscapes. The Godsword looks really cool.
Yeah, I was about to say the little
They didn't
logo.
post a picture of it yet, right?
The logo pin. I don't know. The logo pin looks.
It looks cool, but
It looks okay. It's like, I don't know, low key cringe if you buy one. But
that's mean. I don't think so.
the AGS looks sick.
I really like the
So,
AGS. I
yeah,
don't
I
think
don't
it's
know.
cringe. I just think it means that you had a good time and you want to commemorate it.
I don't know. I mean, it's just. I guess so.
It does look just like the winner's pin, though.
Yeah, that's why.
Attach
it's
it to a ribbon and pretend that you won.
Yeah, I was like, that's why it's a little cringe. But for me, obviously,
He's a hater.
just get the AGS though.
The AGS looks dope. I'm gonna buy that Transmoggen game.
Yeah, looks sick.
Anyway.
That's it though for the Deadman Armageddon stuff. Not too many changes, just some stuff to make it nicer while you work your way through it if you are playing it for the first time. Yeah, pretty interesting. I saw some wacky stuff happening, but really not a ton worth talking about. Like I said, haven't really been able to keep up on it.
I haven't either. I'm also looking something up to show you while you read this next part.
Cool. So this next part is going to be while Guthix sleeps. So this is some additional feedback. And it's funny, if y'all remember whenever this quest first came out, this is exactly the change I said I would wait for until I would actually consider doing this quest. So they said, first of all, return to an idea we pitched in last week's news post. We discovered an error that gave players 100% accuracy against Tormented Demons, which negatively affected weapon variety and power. To offset this effect, we suggested lowering the demon stats while increasing their magic defense bonus to compensate. We also plan to have Demon Bane weapons reduce their defense by at least 5%. However, after taking your feedback on board, we decided not to make these changes. We understand that the community has already developed strategies for the existing mechanics and that you love the unique element it adds to the combat.
Yeah.
We'll still look for tweaks we can make, but for now, Tormented Demons will keep their stats and won't be fixing the accuracy bug.
Cool. We love
For anyone that doesn't know, the accuracy bug that they're talking about, I think players straight up always thought it was intended.
I did.
I never saw that it was a bug to begin with.
Last week I was confused and I thought we were saying it was intended.
Yeah, I thought it was this whole time. For anyone that doesn't know, the accuracy bug is every like 24 ticks or something like that. The Tormented Demon that normally has accuracy and damage reduced will have your accuracy will be 100%. And your damage will not be reduced, so you can hit for an incredibly high number. Like, I think it was like 80 or 90, SGS specs and stuff like that. So, it kind of became part of the meta, like almost immediately, to bring an extremely strong weapon for whenever that does happen.
Yeah.
And that's what they noticed.
Yay, we get to keep it.
Yeah, I'm glad they're not changing it. We do, however, have some other exciting tweaks this week, including the addition of a consumable teleport item to the Tormented Demons, and that's going to be on the loot table. This will cut your bank runs a lot.
It's so painful getting there.
Yeah, now it'll be much quicker.
We've also made it easier to see how many demons can be fought in each room with a new multi-way combat icon. In the same vein, we've made some general additions to the items available during the quest to reduce running back and forth to fetch new ones. So they added a chest to Moverio's base, which contains the runes needed for the door puzzle. They will appear there only once. Therisk will now give out a Snapdragon seed for free rather than charging for it. He still will only give you one. I definitely tried to drop that and get another one to be like, can I make money?
Nice.
You can't.
Just infinite money hack.
He was like, I already gave you that. Sapphire lanterns are no longer destroyed on death during the quest. Accuracy will now provide a one-time tele to Ice Mountain for the Black Knight section and will also remind you they need a disguise to enter the fortress. When working on the Herblore puzzle in the Guthixian temple, the corresponding alternate ingredients will now be returned to you. So for example, if you place an herb on a statue that already has one, the first herb will be given back. I had to go to the bank and buy stuff during that puzzle because I guess I messed up. So I'm happy about that change. We also made a few changes to dialogue and text in the quest, which brings it more in line with the OG version from RuneScape, although you'll still notice a few key variations due to the big differences in our wider lore. And finally, Lucian has had a makeover. He now looks more suitably menacing and has put on a bit of muscle too. Okay,
Good.
have you seen?
Nope.
All right, I'm gonna pull it up.
Because originally
I actually thought he looked cool.
he looked like a Death Knight from World of Warcraft.
You're not gonna be able to see this. Never
And
mind.
now he looks like he's like low-key smiling, and I guess he looks, I mean, he definitely
looks
looks
bigger.
better. They toned down the colors because like
He was wearing like bright green and bright purple.
yeah, he went from wearing like practically all black to wearing like bright like Royals color.
Yeah. Now it's like very like dark plum, dark forest green. He just looks more menacing.
Yeah,
if you're watching on YouTube, you probably can't see anything on my phone.
Looks a bit more like a necromancer of sorts, so that's good.
I still thought he looked cool though, I'm not gonna lie.
I think he looks much better. I still think the goofiness from his face
He's
just
like, rah!
yeah, he
He's
just looks
just a
like
weird little skeleton.
he looks like how I imagine like the Joker looks in like one of the
Scooby-Doo villain vibes.
yeah, very very much so.
Anyway, you want to read about the combat?
Sure. So we have some smaller changes for the combat. The skeletons in Lucian's camp will now always be aggressive once he has spotted you, regardless of any disguise. They won't be fooled twice. Also, the tiles around the Guthixian symbol can now be walked on without issue. The Mark of Darkness will now last 5 times longer if the Purging Staff is equipped when cast. This is directly into like a seemingly infinite amount of posts about how bad the Purging Staff is in comparison to the Scorching Bow and the Emberlight.
Yeah, it should be a hard choice. It shouldn't be obvious that you don't want something.
Yeah, it would lose outright by a mile if you didn't use Mark of Darkness, and with Mark of Darkness, you're using way more runes, and it would only last for a minute. So now, if it lasts 5 times longer, it should last around 5 minutes, if my memory serves, which is much, much better. I still think they should just make it so that whenever you're using the Purging Staff and a Demon Bane spell against a demon, it should just straight up auto-mark them.
Yeah.
I don't even think it should cast. I think it should just be like, oh, you have applied Mark of Darkness with this Demon Bane spell.
I don't know, that's kind of nuts.
Well, I think it still costs twice as much. Well, not twice as much. It still costs a lot. Like, I forgot who said it doesn't cost a lot. Like, one of the mods said it doesn't cost a lot.
One of ours or theirs?
No, one of the J mods.
Oh.
They said it doesn't cost a lot, but it does. It's like, I don't know, it's like 1,000 GP or something per cast. Like, it's not an insignificant amount, especially for like an Iron Man or something. And lastly, elite Dark Warriors, Rangers, and Mages have been given melee, range, and magic defense stats.
Cool. Moving on to some visual changes. Lady No Knock now has updated animations and bulkier armor. Recolored the Balance Elemental and the fight with Sirach to make them more accessible for colorblind players. Flames can no longer be seen from the floor below during a certain boss fight. Adjusted the consistency of certain NPC chat heads to reflect the story progression, and resolved a graphical issue affecting Emberlight.
Yeah. This next one was a really big change for a lot of players, because a lot of players ran into this issue. It's kind of funny because I never would have guessed to do this.
Okay.
But they were having problems with the Elite Black Armor and the Dark Squall robes not being able to be stored in the costume room.
Silly ultimates.
And if you dropped it, I mean, this has already been fixed. And if you dropped it, you couldn't get it back. So that has been fixed. And also now you can store it in your costume room. So that's really cool. I think obviously a lot of Iron Men and UIMs ran into this problem primarily. So it's nice that it's been fixed.
Most important one.
And this next one is the most important one. Your little Broav, little guy, can now wander free in your player-owned house. He technically is not a pet, but he is happy inside the house regardless.
He's definitely my little pet, but okay.
Yeah.
Whatever you
He will
say.
not follow you. He will just be a resident of your house forever.
You know, I lost him during the quest and I haven't gotten him back yet.
That's really embarrassing.
I tried to leave him my house and I thought I did, but I guess I didn't. And he was like, he got bored and left or something like that. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he hates you.
I gotta get him back. Anyway, some other updates. You can now use runes from your rune pouch for the teleorb to reach Lucian's camp. Emberlight can now be used for the Master Clue scroll step as a stand-in for Arclight and can now be added to your stash unit, because that makes sense. We've ensured that no matter which item you select to use first, you'll always be able to forge the Arclight when combining items. Updated NPC contact options that have been reflected, or have been updated to reflect new NPCs. And the Oneiromancer will now acknowledge a certain NPC's tragic death. No spoilers. I didn't know, though. That's all
Yeah.
I'll say.
A lot of people died during this quest.
That's
So,
a spoiler.
no, it's not. They just said.
Okay.
Drop rates. So a lot of people were wondering. Not many, but a lot of people. Tormented Synapse, Burning Claw have the exact same drop rate. I'm guessing this is after the updated version because everyone.
Everyone thought Claw was more rare.
Claw was more rare. They made it slightly less rare because everyone was taking forever to go dry on it. So now they are both 1 out of 500. And the new and introduced Guthixian Temple Teleport is only a 1 out of 12.
Cool.
So that's pretty cool. And the drop table order, for anyone wondering about the particulars, is it'll roll on the drop table for a Synapse, and if not, then it'll roll for a Burning Claw. If not, it'll roll for a unique supply drop, aka a smoldering item. And if not, it'll just roll regular loot.
Cool. So Synapse is always priority.
Synapse is.
Cool. Next, some more merch updates. So the pre-sale for the Crafted by Foxes apparel collection closed on the 22nd, and while the final production quantities for the range are set, the store actually made enough stock to cover all pre-orders plus extra. So you have some more time if you want to go get some merch.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, so
I think that's their way of saying they thought people would buy more.
I don't know. I think that, are they even like the same price as how Mitchie always does it?
I have no idea.
They're more expensive, and they're shipping from the UK, so they're going to take longer to get here.
Yeah. Buy directly from Mitchie.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably making more money, so you actually should.
Yep.
But anyway, so just as a reminder, the Crafted by Foxes apparel collection consists of a chunky, super soft Theater Blood hoodie, Tombs of a Masket pocket tee, Desert Treasure 2 tee, and a long sleeve Versic Viter tee, blah, blah, blah. All these designs are exclusive to the merch shop and are available in a range of sizes. A special neck label print also marks the collaboration. It's actually pretty cute, little tag on it.
Wow.
And make sure if you buy something, share a photo with @MitchieFox on Twitter so that they can see and, hype them up. Their designs are really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We have some last and other changes. So the attack option on Zuck is once again visible during the cutscene.
I didn't even know there was a cutscene. I've never gotten that far.
Yikes. The Undead Pirates lockers in the east of the wilderness no longer opens on non-members' worlds. You can visit the Trouble Brewing minigame, and it no longer wipes the effect of the stuff from any vats you've got fermenting. And they fixed a bug which caused the burning effect from the Eclipse at Ladle and the Burning Claws not to be clear upon leaving the player-owned house combat ring. Mm-hmm. The burn effect is now also it now is reflected in the buff and debuff bar. And finally, Akka, Zarpus, and Nilos can now be affected by burn damage.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah,
nice.
Kind of funny. I do wonder. This did remind me. A lot of people I have read still claim that there are continuing bugs at the Moons of Peril. Ever since that one bug that made them undefeatable, now some people say that. I think it's the Eclipse boss. I don't know if this has been fixed, but I think last week I was reading about how sometimes it'll get stuck at like 1 health for like a long time and then it'll die.
That makes me wonder, like, how do you even know if it's a bug or if it's just like you're getting crazy unlucky?
Yeah.
I've definitely had it stuck at 1 hit point for like a few hits before I kill it, but that was just like RNG.
I think people are saying, I'm trying to remember exactly what it was, but I think during the phase where it's you counterattacking the boss.
Like all the mirrors.
Yeah.
And just, you can't kill it. You used to not be able to kill it during that.
You can.
With certain weapons.
Oh, you definitely can,
You can.
But I know some people are just like making it so like the boss stays at 1 health.
Yeah, that's been a thing with me too. I wasn't sure if that was a bug. I just assumed it was me.
I think that's been a bug that's reoccurred since the last bug at that place that made them
that was
invincible.
A bug whenever it came out.
Okay,
it was.
Well, either way, it's still a bug. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're making it up. You've never actually been there.
Rude.
But yeah, that's it. No other changes.
Cool. We can move on to the next blog.
Yeah.
So this is an official client update from July of 2024.
Yeah.
All right, so it's been a little while since we last checked in on our official client team's progress. So today we'd like to look at some of our features and improvements that they've been working on. At this year's Winter Summit, we announced an official HD mode and the client plugin API, two core features that will bring the official client in line with the expectations set by other approved third-party clients like Runelite and HDOS. Even better, you'll be able to experience these features on mobile for the first time, making it even easier to switch between platforms while you're on the go. There's also a video if you guys don't want to listen to us and want to watch mods talk instead. That's fair. There's a video of them explaining all this.
I guess. I just wanted to
You
go
looking
through.
back at the Winter Summit?
Yeah, I wanted to review what was even in the Winter Summit. It feels like so long ago. I don't even know.
I think we're about to review in a second, but we can if you want.
Oh yeah. Wow, the Winter Summit was really.
No, this was just the HD aspect. Look at the top. This wasn't the whole Winter Summit that you clicked on.
Okay.
He was like, the Winter Summit was super short.
Well, I mean, they hyperlinked Winter Summit. I figured it'd be the whole thing.
It was this specific article.
Anyways, we have some content for the official HD and SD modes. Mainly that they are pretty much done. It seems like they're like towards the end of production. And even whenever it was asked of the mods in Reddit, essentially they were saying the same thing. Like, we don't want to give a date when it's going to be done, but it's getting pretty close to being done.
Cool.
It was kind of interesting because they also asked Adam, which is a dev for
117 dev, right?
Yeah. So Adam is actually a dev, not just from 117, but just is the main dev of Runelite.
Yeah.
And while he does work for Jagex now, people were asking him like, "Oh, do you think like this will affect, like all of these changes we're about to go over will affect like Runelite in the future?"
No. People like Runelite.
Not in the immediate future, but he like didn't really say that it was like impossible, that they're like kind of trying to over time like phase out Runelite.
Well, yeah, I think that they want to, but I don't know if people will.
Yeah, well, I mean, they could just make it not allowed. So, but yeah, it's kind of interesting that he doesn't even really know. I feel like you would just work with him towards that common goal.
Probably. I mean, he probably also does know and can't talk about it.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like I would just talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, though, HD. It is actually coming to desktop and mobile. That's actually really big because obviously Runelite isn't available on mobile, so that'll be massive.
Yeah.
But also there's going to be standard definition mode.
San Diego mode, SD.
Yeah, not high definition. So if your phone can't handle it, for example, or if you just
like
prefer the older look, then you can do that.
Which a lot of people do. I don't.
Yeah, you can do that on your PC or on your phone, on your tablet, whatever. And they did test the performance as best they could, I guess. So hopefully this will make it not have any performance issues whenever they do roll it out.
Yeah, which is an issue with Runelite sometimes. So that'd be nice if they're able to fix that.
Yeah.
That's actually why it's taking so long, they say, because they're testing everything out and making sure the performance isn't failing.
Yeah, on top of that, they did go through and sharpen their tools to illuminate the game world, which really just gives it unique lighting in a bunch of different areas, which, for anyone that doesn't know, 117 HD, the main thing they did that made a big difference was adding dynamic lighting around the world. Just like not having the sun in one singular place, but actually things changing color and glowing actually makes a really big difference.
So pretty.
But that is mainly it.
Well, behind the scenes also, they've released an internal beta, so the OS team is currently doing their own little beta just to test things out before we get ours. They especially want to do this when it comes to ensuring that these new modes function in a way that doesn't limit gameplay. So imagine they're just doing everything.
Yeah, so it's pretty much almost done.
Yeah. Next is the plugin API. So the Winter Summit also brought the news of the official plugin API, which will be coming both to desktop and mobile as well. This is our attempt to build a collection of useful and fun plugins, much like the Runelite plugin hub that you know. What you might not know is that since this announcement, we've been working with some of the most well-known client developers and plugin makers to ensure the experience of creating, uploading, and publishing plugins is up to scratch. So I wonder if they were working with Adam with that, potentially.
I mean,
I don't know,
maybe.
because he makes plugins. Anyway, we've set up an area where they can chat with us at any point during testing and give their feedback on the latest updates. We're thrilled to be working with people who have been making plugins for so long and doing it so well. They know exactly what works and what doesn't, and their input has really helped shape the project. As we speak, they're busy giving their feedback on the latest version of the API documentation, which details how to set up plugins and how to run them on our client. As we mentioned at the summit, we hope to give everyone the opportunity to create and share their own plugins using our API, which means making the whole process as safe as possible. That's why our next milestone is about moderation, which will help us determine how we can keep community-made plugins safe for use in the wider game. Our fantastic plugin makers will be on hand throughout. Yeah, I'd be very afraid of that. Of scam plugins.
I mean, that already exists.
Yeah,
so.
but if you especially don't want that to exist through the official client.
Yeah, I guess so. But it already exists. So I don't. I mean, the only way to get around that is to do code review on every single plugin.
Well,
so.
before, the only way to get around that was using the official client, so that's why it's just a little scary. Supposedly they'll be moderated though. Speaking of, they'll also have a chance to start creating plugins through our API very soon. On launch, you should be able to use all the staples you can't live without, and part of that work is identifying which plugins those are. So go ahead and let them know your feedback if there's any plugins that you're like, I need this, otherwise I'll throw up and die.
Yeah, probably just like most of them. So.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah.
I have so many plugins. I have like 100 something, I think.
Yeah, I am concerned that they're just like not going to let a lot of like the sillier plugins exist, even though they do nothing bad to the game. Or it's just like ones like the one that changes the color of Corrupted Gauntlet. I could just see for some reason them not wanting to put that through.
I was imagining that they're just going and like manually approving everyone. Like maybe they'll have a team for this now. Maybe they'll actually have a moderation team and also hire me. I don't think I'd be good at that, but for something else.
Well, yeah, I just imagine it has some way of like manipulating the colors via like the same way 117 does, and if they have their own HD, I don't think they probably would want someone to manipulate that type of stuff, if I had to guess. So like, I don't know. I mean, this is cool, I guess, but I can also see where it might not be as cool.
We'll see. No need to be pessimistic yet. It's not even out.
I'm literally here to be critical.
Yeah.
Speaking of being critical, we have upcoming client features, and these are going to be critical for you to have a good time going forward. Over the last few years, we've given you some core improvements to the official client on desktop and mobile, such as tile markers, ground item overlays, and XP trackers, which actually are really helpful. With the plugins on the way, we want to make sure that you know the difference between a plugin and a client feature. They have a bunch of things summarizing this. I'll just do it in one sentence.
Yeah, just do it because a lot of people probably don't know.
Yeah, so in one sentence, I'll tell you that the only difference between a plugin and a client feature is a client feature can be found in the settings menu, while a plugin has to be installed in addition to the main client.
Yes. Plugins are add-ons. Client features are stuff that comes with it.
Yeah, so like a client feature would be your ability to highlight agility things, which has now been fixed, by the way. I forgot to mention a long time ago, mine were invisible for a long time, but now they show up. So like those green agility highlights on mobile are a client feature because you don't have to like download. You don't have to download them. You just click the tick that says they're on.
Making Corrupted Gauntlet purple is a plugin.
Yeah, that would be a plugin because one, it's extremely optional in that you don't even have to have it downloaded because it's not really even pertinent to like you playing the game. So those are the main differences. They have a few additional examples of...
Yeah, these are highly requested core features that are coming soon.
Yeah, so these include high scores, a new minigame change, and this feature will allow you to have sub-menus in the minigame. And also menu entry swapper, which is a really big one.
Yeah, that's such a popular plugin. That's huge. That's going to be a featured thing.
Yeah, as well as bank tags. I am still waiting to have the ability to hide entities, though.
Oh, entity hider, yeah, true.
And I will still be waiting for some time.
At least we'll get the HD, and maybe you could get the plugins on mobile while you're at work.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Speaking of mobile UI rework. So everything we've spoken about today will also be coming to mobile, of course, which means that in the near future, you'll have access to HD and SD mode, plugins, and upcoming client features wherever you go. In addition, we're also making changes to ensure the mobile experience is much closer to that of a desktop client. Last month, if you guys remember, they launched a beta for the newest mobile UI improvements, and that brought us closer than ever to achieving parity between the clients. The reactions were overwhelmingly positive, and we're proud to announce that they're in the final stages of ensuring that the latest mobile client is the best one yet. So one of the biggest changes was the introduction of hotkeys on mobile, which allow you to customize your experience on mobile similar to F keys on desktop. You can save multiple hotkey loadouts for different activities, assign any side stone to the buttons you use most, and change key features like tap to walk, NPC highlights, and tile marker. This has meant moving the core side stones to the right hand side to accommodate the new hotkeys, but you'll have the option to choose which side they open from, so there's no need to like relearn everything. Relearn some stuff for sure, but not everything. They also wanted to thank the more than 1,000 players who signed up to be interviewed about your mobile experience. They are currently in the process of interviewing a select handful to gauge their feelings about the newest UI. At the same time, the team is busy fixing some of the smaller pieces of feedback from the beta. Thanks to your fantastic feedback, we're certain that the new mobile UI will launch in the right place. Lastly, we know that for those of you with Jagex accounts, switching characters on mobile can be a chore. It sucks. It sucks so bad. But they are aware of this issue, and they're actively working on a way to make this process much smoother. You can't just switch. You have to go and like log in on your browser, and I don't know my password. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, it's pretty lame. Something else that is probably definitely pretty lame for some players is going to be that they are actually allowing the legacy Java client to become deprecated, meaning they are letting it die.
The way that you said it, they're letting it. I was like, where is he going with this? Letting it die.
Yeah. So, and yeah, if you ever see anyone say that this program has become deprecated, it just means that it is no longer receiving updates, which means it will eventually die. So they're talking about the client that is not Runelite or the official one or any other third-party client.
No, they're talking about their official old one.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
let me restart. They say that they're talking about the legacy Java client, and to clarify, we're talking about our own official one, not Runelite or other third-party Java-based clients. So a few years ago, we released the C++ client on Steam and with the Jagex launcher as well. With this release, the Java client became legacy. This is the old client. The new one is C++ only. So while the C++ became the official client, those with the legacy Java client installed have still been able to use it, but it is no longer available via the Jagex launcher. Unfortunate. And this is what I was referencing earlier, that
if they eventually phase out Runelite in the same way.
Well, I guess because a significant portion of Runelite uses Java still.
Oh.
So
I use the Jagex launcher.
Yeah, so while it's still allowed, people were wondering if eventually they completely disallow Java, whether that would just make Runelite not usable anymore. And Adam seemed to say that it wouldn't particularly be impossible to convert the code from Java to C++, but it would get increasingly more difficult to do the longer that state went on.
Well, I definitely think that Jagex's plan is eventually people are only using their client.
Yeah. I think we said this a long time ago, years ago, whenever they started talking about the Jagex accounts and launcher in general, is that this has happened for games far and wide. They only want one being used.
Yeah.
It's just way easier to keep track of people and stuff like
that. To be fair,
that.
I think it will take years.
I agree, but not much more than a couple.
I don't know. I mean, they first had like the HD introduced to Runelite like 2 years ago. They're really slow getting stuff done.
I think that they're only a couple years away from an MVP that they're okay with delivering to all the players, because it's not going to be as jam-packed as Runelite is now, and I think they like that.
Okay. Well, want to make a bet?
I mean, I think within 2 years, Runelite will begin getting phased out.
I think over 2 years. For sure over 2 years.
Okay.
In 2 years, 2026, let us know.
Because the way I think about it is, I think within the year, they're going to begin rolling out at least the betas for the plugin stuff. And once that happens, I think that is mostly the end of Runelite.
Nah.
Because the only thing that Runelite has over the base client right now is the fact that it has plugins. So I think as soon as they get a stable version of it and people can just port their stuff over to C++, then there's going to be pretty much no point in my eyes to use Runelite.
I just think it's going to take a lot longer to get to that point.
Yeah, maybe. If they don't make it a priority, then yeah, it could
And-
definitely take longer.
And I think that they're going to give people time to adjust and kind of get them to naturally come over first.
Yeah.
Like how they're doing with the Jagex accounts.
Yeah. Besides
Anyway.
that, though, they do say that during our research into who is actually still using this deprecated client, we found that a lot of malicious activity was going on. And while there's still a small minority of legitimate players, most of them are botters or people doing illicit activities. So while shutting down the legacy Java client would put an end to the uphill battle against, won't put an end to the uphill battle against botting.
Will it or won't it?
It will shut down one of the easier avenues
Do you have to say it?
for botters.
No, these naughty botters.
Not saying that.
They're real nasty.
They also say
They're
it's
nasty girls.
a little more difficult to maintain it as well, considering they are currently in production with C++, so it's kind of weird to backport it to Java and stuff like that. So,
Yes.
kind of the reverse issue we were just talking about with Runelite. So it is cool for now. You'll still be able to use the official client, Runelite and HDOS, but soon you'll have to use one of those three.
They say all three clients can be accessed in the Jagex launcher, which requires a Jagex account. The good news is that a Jagex account is the best way to protect all your characters, so switching is great news for everyone. Does that mean Jagex accounts are going to be required?
It says...
Or you can still open Runelite not via Jagex launcher.
Yeah, no, I
Okay.
think they're saying all three clients can be accessed in the Jagex launcher.
But that doesn't mean it's the only way to access them.
No, they're saying it can be accessed from there, and if you access it from there, then that requires a Jagex account. Because
Gotcha.
I don't have a Jagex account. So.
I have one. I was wondering, because I think that they're also going to make everyone get one eventually.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
Speaking of Jagex accounts
Oh,
and Jagex
we're not going over
launcher.
this.
What? Why?
Because this is the thing we've
Oh,
seen 1,000 times
They're trying
before.
to just sell you guys into doing it. So we'll just say the benefits real quick. If you have Jagex account, you get two-factor authentication, super complex passwords, email verification and notifications, store up to 20 characters, enhanced recovery, upgraded defense, easy import of related characters, an additional 20 bank spaces, fancier boots, and count check random events. And they also did a survey of 5,000 Jagex account holders, and 95% of them had a positive experience using the new system. I've only ever had good experiences. I know some people haven't, but
It's funny
it's been fine
because
for me.
I do think it would be a good experience, but 95% is not that high.
Well, if you look at the RuneScape community is so whiny. Like, I feel like you can look at anything and it will never be higher than 95%, to be fair.
I know, but the thing is, I feel like they skewed these in their favor, right? Like any company would do. So it's probably closer to like 90%, which is, I mean, that's a lot.
I don't know. I feel like most of the people I see complaining about Jagex accounts don't have Jagex accounts, so I don't trust their judgment.
Well, I mean,
I've seen some people complain about
for
that,
instance,
but
we've
haven't.
had 250,000 people vote on a survey before, right? So if we're being fairly conservative, if we double that,
Don't math me right now.
that's probably how many people are playing. You know, we'll just say. So 500,000, 1% of that is 5,000 times 5. That's 25,000 people that would have a negative experience with this.
Okay. But still, most people would have a good one.
Obviously, 95% is still obviously the vast majority, but
Yeah.
25,000 people is a lot of people to have a bad experience.
Oh, yeah. I just think that there's no way to get anyone in this game to agree with everything.
Yeah.
So, I think 95 is good.
Yeah, I don't know. I think...
And mostly just because I've had a good experience, so I'm already biased.
Yeah, I think we should... I think it's a little facetious to put a number like 95. One, I think it's boosted a little bit, and two, it sounds like a lot, but it's not. Like, for instance, like your cable company that does your internet is usually like, they tout like 99.99%.
Yeah, no
Because
way.
the 0.001% really sucks.
Yeah, we're never gonna have something like that with RuneScape.
No, obviously, but I really would like to see 98 or something. That'd be nice.
Dang.
They do have a complete guide, though, if you are like straight up newbie on Jagex accounts and the launcher. We've gone over it a million times. That's why we're not gonna show you exactly how to do it. But they do have like a little guide here They
Yeah.
have a full-on step-by-step guide.
I would just do it just to make sure you don't mess up, because that would suck if you got like locked out of your account somehow.
People definitely have.
Yeah.
And they also have a little bit of an official client update and feedback survey at the bottom, asking you a few things like, do you have an account? What type of account? How do you like consume information?
It's
Stuff like that.
3 questions.
Yep.
Well, at least the beginning is.
Yeah. So recommend checking it out if you are interested in the future of UI as well as mobile, because this is, I think, honestly, a bigger impact on mobile than anyone else for sure.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited for mobile HD. That's gonna be dope, and mobile plugins.
Mogable.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. So that's going to be it for now. And we'll see you back in 1 second. And I am wearing the same shirt as yesterday.
Oh wow, I didn't even realize he did
Yeah.
not wear it 2 full days. If that helps.
No, yeah.
He just switched
changed
into after
it.
work.
Yeah.
If
But
that helps.
anyways, we don't have any additional updates today.
Mhm.
I did forget to mention yesterday, though, that I do have a slight real-life update. Is that
Oh.
I went for a hike and I fell. I forgot
Oh
to
my
mention
god!
that.
I was gonna mention it. Show your hands.
Well, I mean, there's nothing to show.
Well,
It's
just so you could see how big the
you
band-aids
can't,
are.
you can't see it. They're flesh-colored band-aids.
You can see the shape.
Well, anyways, I ripped open both my hands.
It's gross.
Yeah. So, but they're nearly healed now. It's been like a week since.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And
What?
you ripped open your knee too.
Okay, but I mean, knees don't really matter that much.
No, it was pretty gnarly looking, and he still went on the hike.
Yeah, I did.
I wasn't there. It was with Al and Raniel. But he
Yeah.
said he was running and he tripped over something on the way to the hike, and then he just hiked with bloody open wounds.
Yeah, I did.
That's gnarly.
I forgot to mention that. But anyways, not really anything to update as far as like stuff.
I was AFK smithing last night. I got like 20,000 XP.
Wow, that's like as
In,
much
like,
as you
an
get
hour and a
in
half.
like 2 inventories at Blast
Yeah,
Furnace.
that's fine. We could just move on to our Q&A now.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. First question is from Harger over on Discord. What area would look the coolest with a night theme, assuming that at night more criminals might be active, there's more nightlife, and perhaps more animals are active? I think any of the port cities I think would be cool at night, because like I think the bars would be active, like Port Sarim or Piscatoris. No, Piscarilius. Yeah, Piscarilius. I think those would actually be like cool, and then imagine like little lights and stuff, and like drunk pirates walking around.
Yeah.
I think that'd be like a vibe. I think it'd be kind of cute.
Yeah. Well, I think this would be cool. I like when games do this in general. Whenever there's like day and night cycles.
Mm-hmm. You want it everywhere?
Yeah, as long as
I
like
think that'd be cool.
I like longer day cycles and then shorter night cycles. Just because like if it's like an hour each, I don't know. Sometimes
If it switches too much, then it's like, okay.
I get tired of the night cycle. It's just nice every once in a while.
Mhm.
But yeah, I guess like the place that I think would be the coolest. Also, this would only look cool with like dynamic lighting.
Well, yeah. I'm imagining everything with HD.
Yeah, so I think something honestly probably just like the castle areas, like any castle area.
Yeah, they'd be all lit up and pretty.
Yeah. So I think any castle area would be cool. Like you know,
Yeah.
Varrock, Falador. I mean maybe I forgot the name of it. The elf area would be cool.
Lydia or not Prifdinus.
Yeah, Prifdinus.
The smaller
So,
one.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Prif, I'm actually less sure about Prif, but all like the places that normally I don't like Falador and Varrock, I think are boring. I think would really come to life at night with all the lights and stuff.
Yeah.
Because they would look like an actual city.
Yeah, I think
Just now
that'd
it's,
be
like,
pretty
barren.
cool. That would also be cool if there was like more active like other random night animals like
A little raccoon.
owls or yeah, sure, raccoons or like things like that.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cute. I like that idea. I think that HD you can make it look like night, but I don't know if it cycles like like a
No,
clock.
probably not.
It's probably something you have to manually turn on and off.
Yeah, you can still do like the like snow and stuff like
Oh,
that.
yeah, you can do the
but,
fall version too. The fall version's very pretty.
Yeah, they don't. I don't know. I would like to see night stuff. I don't think they'll ever add it, but that would be cool.
Yeah, if they did, it would definitely have to be optional.
Yeah, and all the like extra things that make it look more night, like the extra animals or criminals in this
Yeah.
question, I think it'd be cool if they were like cosmetic. Like I wouldn't want them to affect the actual game.
No, they're just like NPCs that don't do anything.
Yeah, because I don't want to be like, all right, cool, I'm gonna go thieving, and oh wait, I have to do it at night because it's way more effective.
Yeah.
That would
So
suck.
it doesn't actually affect the game.
Yeah,
I
think,
agree. I wouldn't want it to affect it.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool if it just looked cool.
We have a friend who published a novel. What is it called? I think it's Shadows in the Golden City. And part of her book, actually, it takes place at like a port, like kind of thing at night, and there's like criminals and stuff. And I think I'm literally imagining how I imagine her book in my head, and that's why I'm like, that would be cool.
Yeah, that
You
would
should
be
go
cool.
read that book. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Kind of not safe for work though. Just one.
Absolutely.
Not
the
even kind of.
Entire purpose and genre of that book is not safe for
No,
work.
it's fantasy as well, but it's also like a fantasy wink wink as well.
I think everyone understood. But yeah, so that'd be cool.
Okay. Next question is from Matt on Discord. What was the most underwhelming update in OSR's history? Like, what were you looking very much forward to and ended up not being not bad but not good? Clans 100% for me. Definitely clans.
Yeah, that's definitely a really good one just because it was really underwhelming.
Yeah. It's like, and the clans aren't like bad necessarily. It's just like they didn't reach their potential.
They're useless and arguably worse than the clan system that was in the game before.
Some clans are really cool. Whenever Ala was here, he was telling us about, he's in the Homies clan, I think it is. I know Nella's
home clan.
Home clan? I don't know. Nella's in it as well, and they did like a lot of events and stuff. So I was like, oh, that sounds really cute.
Yeah, no, I just mean like the system in general.
Oh yeah, the way it's set up.
Yeah,
is not good.
I think the old like clan chat system was just straight up better because you can come and go like very easily, and I think it's still really wonky and weird and just generally not user friendly. It's like the opposite of user friendly actually.
You know, you randomly got 2 comments on a clan video that you made whenever it first came out this week.
Oh yeah, I mean that was like 100 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still think it's an incredibly lackluster system, and it's like kind of laughable how much to the wayside and how much of an afterthought it is even now.
Yeah, what makes the clan special is literally the people who run it.
Yeah.
Like, which could have been done without the clan system.
Yeah, like the only cool thing I guess is that there is like the like clan hall, I guess, but it's
there
like
is that cat, and the cat's pretty cute. I'll give you that.
the thing is there's nothing to do there, so unless you have someone that's like no-lifing the game and isn't AFKing a skill and in their free time randomly just sits in the clan hall and like chats people up, that would be the only time the clan hall would ever actually be used and or be cool.
Yeah.
Which is never, because everyone's AFKing always if they're logged in and not doing anything.
When are we gonna get our elf version of the clan hall?
Yeah, and there's only one version, which is like the
the basic one.
Traditional version.
I again feel bamboozled about that. They're like, which one do you guys like, regular, Mauritania, or elf? They didn't tell us we'll never be able to access the other ones ever again.
Yeah.
That just seems so backwards. Like, if we'd voted Mauritania, does that mean we'd all have emo-ass houses that we could never change? Or clan halls?
I don't know. And
so weird.
The thing is, they never even expand on it. Like, there's no like rewards that you can make it look a different way, or like if you achieve something as a group.
It's not customizable.
Or like maybe like, oh, if this many people, like they could have like crazy things like, oh,
they really could.
You unlock the cosmetic for this room by collectively in your clan, like collecting,
doing whatever.
I don't know, like 200,000 ore or something like that. Like that would be kind of actually something that's cool
like
that you could work
built-in
towards.
clan events.
Or just like anything more than nothing, because that's pretty much what's there. Like
yeah. At least you can have the drop parties there now.
At this point, I'm kind of surprised that they even added a bank to it. Like, I kind of just expect there to be, like, absolutely nothing because of how lazy it was.
Do any of you guys actually use your clan halls? Like, please, like, comment or reply or whatever. Because, I mean, to be fair, our clan's very boring. There's not much of us in it. I'm not the most active, that's for sure. I think Gyn is single-handedly holding it alive.
Yeah, maybe.
Gyn's always replying to everyone.
Honestly, I don't know why they don't do something like how a lot of other games do, where they just... Because for anyone that doesn't know, the only way to advertise your clan is to go to the clan board in a particular world and then advertise on that clan board.
They changed it a little bit. You still have to advertise that way, but now
Yeah.
at least you don't have to be in the same world to join, and you don't have to be at the board.
Yeah, which is whatever.
The bar's pretty low.
But yeah, you have to be advertising on that world though, which is really dumb. They should just make it so that it's like a global clan recruitment page that you open.
Like the forums that they got rid of.
Well, no, I mean they have this in a lot of other games where it's like they'll have like a guild page and it'll be like, oh, these are the guild. This is the guild you're in, and also, if you're not in a guild, it'll just show all of the clans that are recruiting,
That's kind of cool.
and then you can like apply directly from there, and they can
Yeah.
accept you directly from there.
It really just feels like they gave up on it.
I mean, yeah, they did. It's
They make changes every once in a while, which are nice, but nothing that like revitalizes it.
I mean, yeah, it was terrible, and they said they would reiterate on it going forward, and they just haven't. It's been years.
Well, they just did small things, yeah.
I mean, no, yeah, it's useless.
Was clan your answer as well?
No.
Oh, what's your answer?
Surprisingly enough,
Lackluster.
of the ones that I can remember, I mean, maybe if I thought harder, there would be a different one, but honestly, it's gonna be While Guthix Sleeps.
It's not a grandmaster. It doesn't feel like
I mean,
a grandmaster.
well, one, yeah, it's labeled as a grandmaster, and two,
He hasn't done the quest yet. We should say that.
it doesn't matter. I know exactly what happens in the quest. But the thing is, like, people have talked up this quest as like one of the most like important slash pivotal quests.
One of their favorite quests.
Yeah, and
I mean, I know the lore does change because it's not RuneScape 3. I wonder if that's the difference here.
it is so lackluster. Like, the only thing that happens, and this is going to be a spoiler, is
Spoiler, skip a minute.
the fact that like a bunch of the main characters that we've come to know die.
I was so shocked.
But
I only knew about Duradel. All the rest, I actually made a short that's going to go on a few days of my reaction to it. I was
mean,
hella shocked.
besides the fact that that happened and I didn't know that would happen, this was honestly like one of the like honestly just straight up like the most underwhelming quest.
It was just a regular quest, kind of.
Like, yeah, it's mostly just because it's based around the hype that people had given it for so long, and also the fact that the rewards are pretty
The rewards?
trash.
No, the rewards are okay.
No, they're not. I don't know who you're talking to when you say that.
I thought the sword and the bow were good.
The sword is good. No one's going to use the bow unless you're going against a demon.
I would go against Krill.
Even then, it's like as good as a bofa. It's not like the best item or
Yeah,
anything like
but
that.
it snares him, which is huge.
Yeah, you can just use
Freezes.
Yeah, you can just use
I
that
fail those
already
freezes
exists.
all day.
That already exists. So it's like the only thing that actually gave us was the Emberlight, which is only good at things like demons.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the staff is laughably bad, and the bow
We're waiting
is
on that to get changed.
okay if you don't have a T-bow or a bofa. So it's like,
I think probably a lot of people's hype and saying their favorite was Nostalgia.
yeah, I'm all like, I don't know, are you guys like waiting, the people from like RuneScape 3 that remember this or whatever, like, are you waiting the fact that it drops like D claws really high or what? Because the quest
yeah.
wasn't very good or like crazy.
I think
I
that
don't
the
know.
quest itself was like, it was a good quest, but did not feel like a Grandmaster compared to the other Grandmasters for sure.
Yeah, it felt like kind of like lazy and or rushed, the quest, because like
It just felt like a master quest. I'm comparing it to like DT2, and DT2 was like, holy moly, this is a Grandmaster quest. This quest did not have the same feeling as that.
yeah, like one, the bosses you were fighting weren't crazy and or difficult for
I
anyone
died.
that like, yeah, of course, but you died at all the other Grandmasters too.
Yeah.
But this one is, you probably only died like once.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like not even difficult. There's only one real boss fight, and that is like not difficult either.
Oh, there's actually two.
That's why I said one real boss fight.
Yeah.
I mean, the other one, the second one doesn't really count. It's
Oh, that one that you're thinking, the first one, I died more than once, actually.
yeah. The first
I was
one.
trying to do without looking at the mechanics.
The first one, the mage one, is like, I mean, not even that difficult of a fight. Like, Galvik is way more difficult than that fight ever could have wished to have been.
Galvik was pain.
So it's like, it doesn't even compare. And on top of that, the like afterwards, like the rewards, being able to fight demons, that's already a reward. I know they're trying to copy it, but that's already a reward. For example, from like Monkey Madness 2,
Mm-hmm.
like all that did was unlock Zenites, the best jewelry in the game, and this unlocks and the Emberlight.
Best demon in the game.
Yeah, I was like the Scorched Claws.
I don't actually mind the rewards because I think that they're going to be making Best in Slot more like regular PVM.
Yeah. And I guess this is being probably more nitpicky because it's since been fixed, but like the fact that like just something as simple as not having a drop table that's like worth your time for the majority of players, including irons, and on top of that, if you wanted to make the bow, they didn't include the correct unstrung
It has
bow
been fixed.
until 2 weeks later.
We're just complaining about the past now.
I no, that's what I'm saying. It's like just like so lazy. Like this was supposed to be like one of the biggest quests to have ever come to RuneScape, and you just like
Yeah.
it's just like not interesting and or done
I just
well.
did it like a week ago, and I feel like I already remember it like less than I do DT2.
Yeah,
DT2 felt more impactful.
it,
But I don't know for haters.
it wasn't very good. I mean,
Did you guys like the quest?
I think they should have waited until they felt ready to release the additional prayers.
Yeah, either that or the balancing things or whatever.
Yeah,
That or I don't know. Like something Best in Slot, I guess.
mostly because like the rewards were like not good.
Yeah.
Like if you do Mucky Madness 2, you get crazy unlocks. If you do DT2, you don't get the craziest unlocks, but it gives you one of the best money makers in the game.
Ew, I hate Forecast.
And also prayer XP and money that you can alch. And honestly, just like a lot of other really good things for like crafting and all
your
that
first
stuff.
ever pet.
And yeah, obviously my first pet. But yeah, like that. And then I don't know, like the other grandmasters are just like so much more important.
I'm not, yeah. I think that the rewards are appropriate because I don't think everything should be an upgrade. I like that's a side grade actually. Just think
Yeah.
for that niche.
It should have just been a master.
Yeah, the quest itself didn't feel as exciting as I thought it was going
I don't
to.
think they should have labeled it a grandmaster.
Yeah.
I think it lessened the name of all the other grandmasters by being labeled a grandmaster.
Fair. Our last question this week. Are you done with that?
Yeah.
You're like, and another thing.
Yeah.
Next question is from Wraith over on Discord. So this Wraith asked these questions last year, but I thought this one was like extra relevant with the Raxor coming out soon. So should Best in Slot gear have some component crafted by the player and not merely purchased from the GE? Wraith said, I'm not sure about this one. I like the idea of ornament kits added to Best in Slot weapons that come from high-level PVM challenges, but are still functionally equivalent to the item you can just buy from the GE. Having to pay for an Arcane Sigil and having 90 Prayer and 90 Smithing to make the Fortified Elidness Ward seems strange to me. At one point in time, the best combat gear in RuneScape 3 came from activities that required high skilling levels, which encouraged players to round out their accounts and reward players who train skills in addition to PVM. So, thoughts? Should Best in Slot gear have some component crafted by the player?
That's kind of tough to say.
I like it sometimes, but I don't know if I want all the time.
I am generally okay with this. I think it does make going forward a little bit difficult.
Yeah, it's setting a weird precedent.
But
Because it's like, okay, you need bandos to make Torva, and then you need Torva to make whatever you make in the future, which means you also have to have bandos.
I'd be okay.
It could be weird in the future.
I'd be okay with a compromise. I still think going forward they should still be crafted.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that they should be crafted with multiple skills.
Mm-hmm.
For example, like if it's a new hammer, I think it should be like you get a hammer and then you have to have high crafting and high smithing to make it, for example. And then you can do a component in addition to it. Like if it's like an upgrade version of like the granite maul or something, then you could do the G maul. And then if you have like the smithing to craft like the next version, then you can have like a combination of smithing and then crafting for the next version or something like that.
I actually like the skilling part. Because Wraith was saying like the 90 prayer, 90 smithing for the Fortified Elidness Ward. I kind of liked that. Because I like that your account does have to feel more rounded. It's not just you bought at the GE and then you went and paid someone to make it for you.
Yeah. I think...
But I'm also 99 combat, so I don't know. I can't really talk on that.
Yeah. I think it's weird because I think there should also be higher requirements to even use certain items. And also it's kind of like tough because RuneScape has kind of like put itself in a corner in this way, because like in every other game, it self-regulates by, oh, you have the best items because you are capable of doing the best content,
Yeah.
straight up. But this game doesn't have that because you can trade all the best items in the game, whereas that's not the case in any other game ever. So it's like, well, I guess not ever, but for the most part.
Never ever.
So I guess they kind of like, I mean, this is going to, in like the next 5 to 10 years, become like a real problem unless they fix it.
I think they'll have to go on and off. Like, they can't always do this now. Because then it'll be like how I said, like, you're going to require like 4 sets of gear to build the new best melee, you know?
Yeah.
Like, maybe the next thing will be just like a regular drop from a raid, like Ancestral.
Yes and no.
Well, even with Sori, actually, you upgrade with Armageddon.
I mean, you could also do certain things like, oh, maybe this boss can only be killed using a certain weapon, which will then drop the new best in slot.
Yeah.
Which would then kind of like be like a pseudo requirement for you.
Okay.
And it'd also be generally, I don't know how well this would work, but I'm generally okay with like you being able to like subvert the crafting requirements with gold, but I think it should be like a significant amount of gold. Like, for instance, like, let's just say like
even as an iron.
No. This is for the mains, because I think like them balancing the mains and the irons together is what's like annoying for a lot of players, because if they're a main, then they chose to be able to buy end game, whereas irons can't. So I think in order to like maybe potentially try to like like soothe that problem for the time being would be to like make it so if you don't have the 90 crafting and the 90 smithing to make this new hammer, in this case that's like a granite upgrade, then you would have to pay like, I don't know, like 50 million GP or something like that to a guy that can.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. I was going to say, or you can like have another person do it for you and then pay them for their service.
That's risky.
Yes and no.
I mean, that's
just no. So it's like so in World of Warcraft, for example, if you don't have this is how it used to work. Now you could just buy a piece of paper that does it, but it's essentially the same thing. So the way that it worked is you would like buy enchants from other people, like enchantments for your weapon.
Okay.
And the way you would do this is you would like open up a trade window. You would put in the item into a section that says will not trade, and then they would cast the spell or whatever onto the weapon, and then it would then be imbued once the trade was done.
They have to actually do it.
Yeah, so like the trade.
That's interesting.
So like you wouldn't be able to trade it because it'd be in the non-trading section, and then they would cast it, and then you would enter your gold, and the trade would be done. And only once the trade is done does the spell actually get casted onto the weapon.
Yeah.
That's how it used to work. Now it's essentially the same thing, but on a piece of paper. Anyways, like you could do something like that if you didn't want the money to just disappear.
Trimming armor would never happen.
Yeah.
It was scams.
But I definitely think it would be better if the money just disappeared.
Yeah.
Because then I think like in this instance, for example, like if you just did that, like if you just paid a random NPC 50 million GP, the GP would be gone, and then the item would become tradable, like a regular item.
Okay.
I think that would be kind of okay as an item sync, and making it so like you can tie that amount to how valuable the item should be. I definitely don't think it's the best.
I feel like there's really
solution.
no good solution for this. It's gonna be an issue no matter what, I think.
It's unfortunate because the only path forward that I've like really thought about that might work is going to be like a weird cobbled Frankenstein version of all of these, and I don't think it'll be really convenient for a player to learn all of this.
Yeah, I think it'll take the next upgrade that we're due for will be like Mage, I'm guessing, because we got the Torva, we got Masori, so probably new Ancestral eventually, like within the next few years, I'd guess.
Yeah, maybe.
Or several years, but I feel like that one, if that were to drop, how would you want to drop? I would just want to drop maybe as like broken and you fix it with like crafting or magic. I don't think I want the using an old kit for it. I like that sometimes, but I don't want that every time.
Yeah, it's annoying. I like it, but I also don't like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm okay with it for things that are expected to be had.
Mm-hmm.
Like
The jewelry.
yeah, like Zenite, I guess, is like it's such a an upgrade and such a not long grind usually. Like it's fairly reasonable for someone to have like a torture or something if they're like
Yeah.
getting into raids. That I'm like kind of okay with those, but like they're like, oh, for example, in your example, like if they're like, oh, so in order to get the new best in slot mage, you have to have the old best in slot mage. It's like, all right, cool. Let me go do 1,200 hours of chambers,
Yeah, it's a lot, man.
and then I can start this grind.
I feel like there's no way they'll do that with ancestral robes because chambers is just such a grind.
Yeah, like Bandos, I can see why they did that with Torva because it's not a very long grind to get full Bandos in comparison.
Same
Like
with Armageddon.
I think you could probably get full Bandos in the same time it would take you to farm like 1 or 2 pieces of Ancestral, probably 1.
Yeah, I'm very curious how they're gonna end up doing the next best in slot mage gear eventually. I think it'll have to be a raid.
Yeah, I am generally the thing is like they're trying to escape. I mean, the whole reason all of this exists is because they're trying to escape the
Lack of planning in the past.
no, the traditional trope that
Oh.
every game runs into, which is power creep.
Yes.
Because if they didn't care about that, they'll just be like, the newest raid has the best stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. There might be like one item that supersedes that, or
I think avoiding power creep is impossible after a certain amount of time.
yeah,
You just start putting out harder content instead, which people will go and eventually start doing that too. Which I think we're already
yeah.
doing.
I don't know. It's kind of like weird. You're definitely not gonna be able to make everyone be happy. That's for sure.
Yeah. It's just gonna be strange.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I in general though, I am kind of okay with component stuff for now, and I'm actually a fan of having like multiple requirements for making the gear.
I agree. I'm a less fan of the component, but I'm not against it. I'm just like weird about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Yeah.
our Q&A.
That's it. Thanks for listening. If you want to join the Q&A, make sure to add your question, like I said, in Discord or at any of our socials.
Yeah, so if you're listening to this on Spotify, you can actually reply directly on there. Or our Twitter and TikTok are Bunebapeosrs. Our Twitch, YouTube, and Instagram are all just Bunebape. I put shorts every day, and I stream 4 days a week at twitch.tv/Bunebape, so come and say hi.
Yep.
And please raid with me. I haven't raided in like 2 weeks, man.
Yeah, it's
I'm
embarrassing.
desperate. I want to so bad.
But that's it. So hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to check us out next week, and we'll see you all.
Very soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.